Hey everybody, and welcome to EnvisionOPG One Piece gameplay. My name's Kevin, or Vision, or XNX Vision. I'll answer to pretty much anything, and I'm here today to cast the final round of the Iron City Locals featuring the new Set 2 stuff. But before I get into this, I want to say thank you. We've reached 100 subs and are doing 3 giveaways. Links will be in the description. So click the link if you want to find out how to join the contest. And I am so excited today because I have with me a very special guest, the one and only Jarrett Hubbard.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me.
And Jarrett is, coincidentally enough, playing the Ivankov in the final round. And somebody just put...
Yeah. Noman had just made the comment how he was the only person not playing an alt-art leader at the table because Yizzy and Jose were next to us. And then Jose reached over and just slammed the alt-art Kinemon because he wasn't using him, causing Noman to drop all of his cards.
That's awesome. And we've got two of our very own EnvisionOPG family in Noman and you in the finals.
Yeah.
And that must have felt pretty good in a box tournament with something like 15 players in it.
Yeah, it was our biggest local at Iron City yet.
Yeah, so that was nice to see. I, however, did not fare so hot. I went over, and it was very upsetting. But I got some great content out of it.
It happens to the best of us. But I was happy to see Noman up there with me, but also terrified because he's one of the best players in the local scene. So...
yeah, and that's pretty much any card game he touches. And apparently he's a professional dice roller because that was hot.
Yes, he did just roll boxcars. Chooses to go second, which I think are the preferred for both of our decks, so I wasn't too upset.
Yeah, and I appreciate you showing me your cards. Like, that's so nice when people do that.
It wasn't intentional, but I'm glad it worked out.
Okay, and so was that a snap keep for you? Is that...
I'm missing the buggy, which I want to have on turn 1, but I have the preferred 2 with the Don Flamenco, and I already have buggy I already have Luffy Ivankov in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really not much more I'm looking for because those are the 2 cards that you absolutely want to see every game.
Sure.
So since I already had them, I just decided to keep.
It looks like no one got a Bonnie, but I think is his target Okiku turn 2?
He's mulliganing for Okiku, so when you're going first against a Kinemon, you always have to hold your breath on what they do turn 1 because it kind of dictates the entire pace of the game. Thankfully for me, it wasn't an Okiku. I believe he plays a Raizo turn 1, yeah.
Which is a fine target.
It is a perfectly good start, but not as terrifying to me as an Okiku because now I can safely play this Dolphy down, get in with leader first before I play anything.
Naturally. And there is the Dolphy, and you will look at the top 5 cards of your deck and place them on top or bottom in any order. What do you think about these 2 leaders in the current Set 2 meta? I mean, do you think they're 2 of the best? Because I honestly, they're both really, really strong, I think.
Yeah, I think you have to be prepared to play both of them at any tournament you go to. Playing Ivankov, I feel he's very strong. Playing against Kinemon, I feel like he's very strong. So I'm trying to figure out what my stack wants to be. And I believe I don't have the 5-drop Crocodile in hand, so on the next turn I want to play the blocker down, which is why I stack it first.
Sure.
And then I have kind of my preferred plays from there on out in drawing order.
Yeah, and I see the Deathwink in your hand too. Is that a new addition to your deck?
It is. I had tested that slot a lot for a bunch of different cards. This was my first time playing with Deathwink in my deck. I hadn't tried it on the sim or anything.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it all day.
Okay, Noman plays the Bonnie here. I believe he activates Kinemon's ability before he plays the Bonnie.
Yes.
And he is looking for a Supernova. And he picks up the X-Drake here, which is a 6K base. Is that the X-Drake that... what is it?
It pops up committed or rested for drop or less.
That's right. I was thinking of the purple X-Drake, I think. It was very confusing.
Yeah.
And he is going to swing with Raizo. And he does get the draw because Bonnie was tapped. So
Yes.
he gets the plus.
I block both, which is what you want to do as a Ivankov player. Protect your life early.
Yeah, really dwindle the cards in hand And that way you can maximize Ivankov's whole mechanic.
Yeah, and then I do something I usually never do, and that's swing with Dolphy. But I figured I'm playing a second blocker. I have to get the Bonnie off because it just generates so much advantage. I'd rather kill the Bonnie and maybe have to defend face than just let her go free. And he sacrificed a Bage to her, so he's obviously prioritizing her for some reason.
Yeah, so you're not going to be able to utilize Inazuma's passive ability to gain 2k power because you've got the 7 and 6 drop in hand with the Deathwing, obviously, that you can't play. So you're just going to be basically using Inazuma as a block piece, not keeping her on board, right?
Right.
Okay. And generally, a good green player will try to take out your Doflamingo as well. That makes sense.
Yeah, we're playing two decks that really just want to control board. I thought about blocking because he was only swinging 4 into the Dolphy, but then I remembered he just got an X-Drake, so if I block, he just has to play the X-Drakes and kills the blocker anyway.
Sure.
So it just wasn't advantageous to me to put my board at risk.
Yeah, because that is specific to rested characters.
It does have to be rested, and I believe it was a bait attack.
Sure.
I mean, he obviously cleared a blocker off board, but that's kind of what I want Dolphy to do anyway. He didn't get the draw with Raizo, which was nice. So.
And that tells you another thing, too, that he doesn't have a Momo or Bonnie
no
in
Momo,
hand.
no Bonnie.
So that gives you at least some insight as to what he's got going on. And he is going to play the new Yamato, which taps a 6 cost or less character on your opponent's side of the field. He's just going to swing 8 into it. No chance of blocking, but you take no damage and essentially utilize both blockers effectively.
Yep. So I still want to keep my blockers on board, but I'm not mad at how that turn went. I'm still going in on 5 life. About to play my strongest turn in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, you hit 7, and once you hit curve, it's almost scary how fast you get big, beefy monsters on the board. And you're just going to tap them all sideways here, right? Yeah. And you're just going to slam both of them down.
Yeah. I don't get a draw off of Ivankov, but it's still fine. My board goes from non-threatening to extremely threatening very quickly. As you can see, I have a Mihawk for the next turn. And this is the turn I believe I win the game.
Yeah.
Just off tempo and everything.
Could you not have utilized Luffy's ability on play?
Well, I didn't want to drop... So I only have 2 cards in hand, and one's a Mihawk and one's a Deathwing. And I didn't want to discard the Mihawk. I didn't so much care about the Deathwing.
Sure.
But I did not want to drop the Mihawk because it's the best follow-up you can have off a Ivankov Luffy play.
Yeah, and you're going to go ahead and block with the Crocodile here, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah, my next play's already
happened in your head. Yeah. Did you draw an Inazuma off that?
I did.
Oh, nice. And he plays the 7-drop Kid here, the Restander blocker, which is a 7k base, but it's also fodder for the 9-drop Mihawk.
It is.
And that is, again, on curve. You hit 9 Don, you windmill slam. None other than the beautiful 9-drop Mihawk to bottom his 7-drop Kid. And that's really unfortunate. I mean, I'm sure that changed the entire dynamic of the match.
Yeah, I mean, I had to eat some life early, which I don't like doing because I'm down to 3, which is lower than I want to be at this point. But my board's fine. I'm going to start picking off his board.
Yeah, and you swing 5 into the Raizo. He doesn't block.
Yeah.
And you left your Luffy up.
Yes, I did not. The Luffy's really important in this matchup, I believe. And I don't want to put him in danger because my hand is a Deathwink, a Nukama, and a 1k shield. So he can swing 8 and I can't do anything about it. So I'd rather protect him than the Ivankov.
Sure.
And obviously if he plays another Yamato and things happen, but...
Yeah, I think that was a very heads-up play on your part just because the green is they're capable of a lot of things, and he could have just donned up his Kinemon and just swung into Luffy.
Right, but the great thing about blue is there are so few cards that don't have counter in your deck that they have to assume you're playing with a 2K shield or things like that.
Right. I mean, you want to give me a spoiler? Do you get to use that Deathlink in this match?
I do.
Oh, I love it. Such a good card.
Yes. Once you hit 10 Dawn, it feels really good because you can play your 7-drop Ivankov and then still have 3 Dawn up, and you're still putting 14k power on board.
Right. And he's just going to Dawn up his leader here, swing it for 7, and throw down 2 blockers.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 blockers. Dawn up that killer. He's in full-on protection mode.
He is in full-on protection mode. That's a scary board state. And now comes the point in time where I have to start making some pretty crucial decisions in the game. Some that might not seem intuitive at first, but what I thought at the time, assessing the threats, was correct.
So it looks like you've got
I'm trying to see
Mr. 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how much I can play and still leave up 3 for my Deathwink in hand. And what I want to discard to Luffy. So we start with New Kama Land.
And tell us about New Kama Land, the new stage for Ivankov.
It's fantastic. You get to activate it, draw a card, discard a card, and then you can discard up to 3. I drew a New Kama Land, which is just instantly discarded. There's no reason to have 2. It doesn't do you any good. This is probably the most in the tank I was all game. So...
yeah, it's a pretty important turn here, though. I mean, your opponent's showing three blockers. One that effectively allows him to plus or add to his hand in the killer. So it's definitely crucial. He's probably going to use it here, I'd imagine, to get the draw.
Yeah. I was deciding on what I want to bounce. So I can either bounce the killer and not give him the draw, or what I believe I do is I bounce the Yamato to take pressure off board.
Sure.
Which I think, being at 2 life, is correct.
Yeah. And
I swung 9. He blocked it, which is fine. I just figured I just have to play through the kid drawing a card and just be done with it instead of trying to play around it for the next infinite turns of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can get Inazuma. He's active because I only have 1 card in hand,
So
which is a
7K,
Deathwing.
is that
7K
base?
blocker.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got a pretty good board state here. You're in a good position to protect your big guys, right? So Luffy's not really in much danger here because there's no Russian green.
There's no Russian green. I mean, he can play the Yamato. I just bounce back to hand and tap the blocker.
Sure.
Which is fine. That's still 4 Dawn, which gives him 6 to play the rest of his turn out of.
Yeah,
and
that's
Yamato's
11K.
Yeah, and I have a
6K counter
6K counter in hand. So, and who knows what I'm going to draw off the top.
Right.
So,
yeah, your hand presence is good. He looks like he's just going to swing 5 face, and you're going to just run the Deathwink and get the draw.
yeah.
That gives you a couple extra cards in hand too, just in case he does don up a beige or something. And
Yep, and the reason why I didn't block, I know he is a 7K, but if I block, the X-Drake I know is still in hand, so it instantly dies. This at least forces Yamato into X-Drake, which is his entire turn.
Right. He's left with 1 active Don now. And
right, my
2 blockers.
Luffy's up. I have 3K shield in hand.
And that's how he's going to leave it, with 1 active Don, 2 beige blockers on the board. But chump blockers are fickle things and are often depleted. Do you have a way to get them off the board?
I mean, I have Luffy, but it's really, I'm just going to try to apply pressure.
So you're going to go ahead and tap the stage to get the draw and discard. And that effectively allows you to sculpt your hand.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's something I want to draw so I can discard something different.
Sure, and you're just swinging 9 face here.
base Mihawk is insanely good.
Now, when you swing with Luffy, are you trying to take pressure off the next attacking turn?
I believe so. I believe I bounced the Yamato again.
Sure. Noman's hand shuffling a book over there.
He does have a jillion cards in hand, which is terrifying.
It really is, especially in the hands of a good player like Noman.
Yes.
You know, you're sitting over there with 3, and it's almost like you're sweating.
Yeah, it feels like you're losing the game when you're looking at hand advantage, but you're sacrificing hand advantage for board presence.
Sure.
And Ivankov does it really well. I shuffle my Don like 2 or 3 times here because I'm trying to do math. Like I want to swing with leader, but I don't.
Yeah, I think it's always and for those of you listening, before you actually take your turn, it's always a good idea to count out your Don and just make sure that you've got your allocations correct. And so you're leaving 4 up for, I'm assuming, Mr. 3. Yeah, or is that an Inazuma blocker?
It's a Mr. 3.
Yeah. And Mr. 3 is a fantastic card from the new set. And
so swing 7 at face, bounce the Yamato, get a blocker down, draw 2 cards. Still exactly where I want to be with 2 life.
And it looks like one of those was a 2K counter and a blocker.
Yeah.
This looks like a very close game. I think Noman, I mean, really and truly, he's got to find a way to, I think, swing for game here, right? I mean,
yeah, it's just so hard because he also has to deal with board.
Yeah.
Because he has to get 3 attacks through. And he doesn't have the threats on board just to get 3 attacks through.
At the very least, he needs to try to
out the Luffy.
Yeah. And that'll at least protect his blocker because he's got, like you said, a jillion cards in hand. And that's just going to be an 8 into your life.
Oh, I thought he said life.
Oh, okay. I thought, yeah.
So block with the 2K.
Yeah, I think his thinking there was you got 2 cards in hand.
Yeah.
You either drop your entire hand or...
Yeah, if you got it, you got it.
Yeah. Because he has to allocate. I'm sure he, in his mind, has those 4 active Don already allocated.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple killers or something that'll offer him some protection.
Swings into the blocker, which is fine.
Sure.
Did his job.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another beige. And he's probably got a Punk Gibson in hand or something that he's going to... Yeah. And that lets you know that he's got a 4K counter, at the very least, in his hand. But he also has no life, so...
Draw second, Doffy blocker.
You're just going to swing face here for 9.
Yeah, we just have to...
Are you making sure all of your... Yeah, so there's the 4K counter. I was just about to ask if you're going to make sure all your attacks hit 9 until you utilize the Punk Gibson.
Yeah. I mean, usually the first one has to, but I do swing 9 with Luffy here as well.
And I think that's a good number because you're effectively forcing minimum 3 cards from hand.
I'm going to draw a card first to see if that changes what I want to do this turn. But I just draw and discard it.
He's got 7 cards in hand.
He does have 7 cards in hand.
Alright, so you are going to make this 9K. He'll probably utilize beige here, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Bounce one of the beiges, force him to use his other beige or 3 cards out of hand.
Yeah, so he now has 8 cards in hand, and you know one of them for sure is a beige.
Yes.
Is a no counter. And he does use the blocker. You're just going to swing 8 here. 9. Oh, you're just going all out.
Yeah, I have nothing else in hand to play, so there's no reason for me to not just go balls out.
Oh, Noman looks at the camera. He did not have the counters in hand, and there you go, Jarrett, with the championship. You got the box.
Yes.
Which was the real prize here.
Yeah.
But Noman actually was the real winner, though, because he pulled the parallel Sakazuki.
That's true.
And you had
his 6-packs were better than my box.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Arguably one of the worst boxes I've ever seen open.
Yes, but I had been pulling pretty hot.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good weekend.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah, Noman showing he had 3 Odins in his hand.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
And he was telling me the turn that he played the 7 drop, he probably should have just played the Odin instead.
Yeah.
But he thought if he could get the 7 drop locked in on board, it puts him in a way better position for the rest of the game because that card's insane.
Right.
But
that
just turns out Mihawk's a little more insane.
Yeah. And I would ask you how many you run in your deck, but we're going to be uploading a deck profile from this very deck that won here shortly. So stay tuned for that. Guys, make sure if you enjoy the content, like, share, subscribe. We'll be doing more of these One Piece gameplay videos. We do deck lists. We do all kinds of stuff, really, just for the One Piece game. So, again, I wanted to reiterate that we have hit our subscriber milestone for 25, 50, and 100 subs. So there's 3 giveaways linked in the description. Click on those to find out how to enter. And then we will be doing another giveaway. This time we're going to do it at 200 subs. So once we hit 200 subs, I will be doing another starter deck giveaway. I could do this for days, guys. I got them. Right, Jarrett?
Yeah, we're stocked.
Yeah, we got them. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And until next time, have a great, great rest of your day.